In a time of such uncertainty, we're all starving to know what's next. What's trending in real estate? Will the market go up? Will it go down? And how should I respond? Well, I'm discussing all of that and more with my guest today. He's a new member of the Epic team. He's a wealth of information and has a huge helping heart to go with it. And he'll even help you directly and ask for nothing in return either. And he'll share with you exactly how to get that help if you want it. Now, I'm talking about real estate investor, Mr. Eric Slykew. And before I introduce you, please click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell because I post cool stuff like this each and every week and you don't want to miss it. Let's go. So please help me welcome to the show, Mr. Eric Slykew. Eric, welcome to the Epic Real Estate Investing Show.
How you doing, Matt?
Doing good. Happy to have you. You've been a great part of the team in helping people get started and turning them into nice, consistent ones, whether that's a part-time business or a full-time business. So I appreciate you for that. Just so we can all get to know you a little bit better, can you kind of just give me your background and bring me up to speed to where you are today?
Sure. So thank you for having me, Matt. So I was an officer in the Marine Corps for 5 years. So I had a 5-year commitment. I graduated in 2000 from the United States Naval Academy. I had a 5-year commitment. And when I was looking at, it was May of 2004, kind of what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, thought about, getting an advanced degree, but Southern California happened to be a really hot real estate market. And obviously I didn't know what I was doing there. Then I got some training, had some mentorship. Made quite a bit of money initially with pre-constructions, but I got overconfident and ended up losing everything in 2009. Ever since then, I've made an effort to rebuild the right way. And along the way, I love helping students kind of do the same thing.
Here we are in unprecedented times with so much stuff going on. Just the election alone has caused all kinds of chaos. But then we've got the social unrest and we've got a global pandemic and people are just really confused, and we've got all the unemployment, and it's impacting the real estate market. How are you seeing it impact the real estate market right now? What are you noticing?
The biggest difference I notice is I think anytime the pressure, turns up, that really separates the amateurs and the novice from the professionals. Anybody can buy property, and that doesn't make them what I would call a professional investor. And so I think there's a confusion that, I'm in real estate, I do real estate, and I always ask, kind of what level, how much passive income do you have? And I think what COVID has done, depending on what state you're in and what degree of lockdown you're in, it's if you've done some investing and you're relying on the I've got to touch it, I've got to smell it, I've got to feel it model, it hasn't worked. So, the training that we've been doing lately, it's you have your novice, you have your amateurs. You've got your people who've never touched real estate before. Amateurs who might think they're professionals and they're stuck because they can't get it done just using a laptop and a phone. When it comes to COVID, I think it really emphasizes that when you have the right systems, you're going to be successful regardless. And actually, I've seen investors making more money because you have people fleeing the states with higher income tax. And, obviously not to get into politics, but depending on who gets elected, that affects the tax situation. But the same model applies on a smaller scale. You can go to what I call ripple markets. We might call ripple markets like bigger cities within states like Texas, Nevada, and Florida, where people are going. That's in terms of a more affordable place to be. So once again, if you're already in that market and you're targeting the right properties, you're going to make your money if you have the right systems and supervision. But also, you can make more money. This is a tough time for a lot of people, but there's a lot of money to be made. And at the same time, there's a lot of people you can help. And I think that's the biggest thing that you talk about is this business is about helping people and making money. And it's not about making money and then helping people in that order. You can do both. And that's what I think is so fantastic about it.
Just with that transition of all that real estate exchanging hands, what type of opportunities are you seeing, or what type of strategies do you think are best for that type of environment?
I personally am not happy with maybe some of the policies and the taxes that are there. But, and you talk about, you hear so many people leaving, like you're discussing. What still remains is California has the 5th largest GDP in the world, I believe. And so there's Silicon Valley, there's LA County, and you came from Los Angeles, went to Vegas. No matter how crazy things get, I feel like there's still going to be, there is a demand there. And you can't just go buy 20, 30, 40 acres. Like in a place like Orange County, Irvine Company did that a long time ago. So they're just building and building and building. It seems like there's more of a demand than there is supply. So as an investor, when you know how to do that, these places that people are fleeing, yes, I feel like they're great places to flip because, if you're talking about wholesale flipping, and there's different ways obviously to do that, whether you're flipping a contract or whether you have transactional funding with a double closing, buying and selling it simultaneously. The powerful thing is you don't have to live there, but you can make a profit, and that property can be passed on to another investor and they've got their profit, or maybe it's a family's home that they're going to live in. And you have so many, interesting and strategic ways to find inventory. That being said, I feel with big profits. That being said, when it comes to buying and holding, I've seen some people that talk about whether it's wholesale flipping or find it, fix it, and flip it. There's ways to do that. But then, as you and your wife know, it's about buying and holding for cash flow. And then, it's pushing those profits that might be larger profits in those areas into, I feel like the Midwest is a great area to buy and hold for cash flow. And you've got, I think a big part of it is investing in diverse and thriving job markets compared to other cities in the US. Mm-hmm. So if one industry goes away, you've got the others to back it up. So it's flipping to get to the buy and hold for cash flow. And that's what I feel the opportunity is there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nothing better than doing what we do on so many fronts, right? Your heart's in the right spot, and you're an expert at what you do. And I've been blessed to have you a part of the team. I've been blessed to have Josh Swanson, who has been helping people get their first deal done on that weekly coaching call. And he's been helping me out with the coaching my clients, and all of his students are starting to succeed. And a lot of them have been introduced to us by way of you and your training that we've put in place. And so I know you've got one coming up, or you're doing these pretty regularly. And they're absolutely free to help people get started on the right track and answer their questions. What are some of the things that they could expect in those trainings?
When COVID happened, it's just like real estate deals. It's what we learned in the Marine Corps. It's adapting and overcoming. Mm-hmm. Because in real estate, a lender will fall out and you should have others to take their place. If a contractor might fall out, you've got others to take their place, right? You're not relying on just one source of deals. You really can do this business with your computer and your phone. And so the first morning we talk about, I think it's important to understand what isn't taught in schools, high school, college, MBA programs, is money intelligence. It's not that people aren't smart enough to do this. And I think anyone can use your system and make money as long as I feel they have four things. One is a good attitude. If someone has a desire to make a change and to get better, so how can I make it happen? The second one is they're coachable. If they're coachable and if they're willing to learn and be open to new ideas and make adjustments, that's huge. The third one is obviously do the right thing, don't hurt people on deals. And the fourth one is you have to be willing to take action when the opportunity presents itself. There are people that watch things happen. There are people that there are people that make things happen, people that watch things happen, and there are people that wonder what the heck happened. I might have messed up that order, but that's the biggest thing is I want on morning number one, point out what the opportunities are. And I think what's really important to understand, and some people don't want to see the truth, is that, we've got a dollar that isn't backed by gold anymore. We've got a printing press. So I go back to Warren Buffett, and he says the safest form of currency to own is the right performing piece of U.S. real estate. And that's what, you and Mercedes have with the buy and hold cash flow stuff. Like everything we're doing is a means to an end to that. And then we get right to it and we start talking about how do we use the banks like they've been using us? Right? How do we level the playing field here? So I think all of it goes back to what's the most logistically friendly way to safely get the largest return in this business. So, what do we do with retirement accounts? How do we use the banks to help finance our deals? Everybody's heard OPM, but Matt, does anybody really know what it means? When the rubber meets the road, do they know what that means? And I think that's part of it. We teach people how to make money on their first wholesale flip from A to Z. We go live. Here's how you make money. And I don't know of any other business model that does that. And that's not even getting it. Day two, analyzing any market in the US, cash flow analysis, rentals, commercial, lending. If you want to get into big money flips, maybe later on, what's a snapshot of what that looks like? What about power team? Contractor, subcontractor, property manager, project manager, appraiser, inspector, attorney, accountant, all that stuff. And that's the first 2 days. And I think it may seem like financial freedom might seem like Mount Everest, but the best way to plan for Mount Everest is how do we get to Camp 1? And I found the biggest thing to have is accountability measures in place. So that's that whole education implementation. I think that's why your company and why you are so successful is you have the systems in place and I'm just communicating what you have. And then we see where the fit is in terms of plugging in. But if they do that and they plug in and they take it one step at a time, as you know, you've got an entire website of testimonials. You have to decide which ones am I going to show. I mean, that is living proof how great what you have is and how it's working for students. And it's really an honor to be a part of it.
Awesome. Well, it's glad to have you here as well. And thank you for all that. I mean, that's something that you've kind of been out there talking to people on your own without me there. And that's the interpretation that you're getting. So it's the right one, because that's exactly what it is. Okay. So you've been hosting these free 3-day trainings, and like I said, they are free, and they can go to that and register at trainwithepic.com. Trainwithepic.com. And you just heard from Eric, and he kind of covered a big giant piece of the real estate and basically everything you need to succeed in the business, at least to get started. And he's there to answer your questions and reveal all of the market updates as they happen, because it's changing daily, and share his own personal expertise with you. Any other reasons, or who's the ideal person that should attend, Eric?
If you're in a position where you're not financially free, I mean, I would just say if you don't have a significant amount of cash flow, so everything, this is the only retirement plan or financially free plan, because I don't like the word retirement. It sounds like you're done. But anyways, to me, the only plan that really accounts for inflation in this has to do with buying and holding the right real estate, because rents adjust for inflation. So if you're in a position where you don't have what you need for retirement, or if you're younger and you're not financially free and you want that freedom, this is the training for you. And regardless of your experience level, if you've never done a real estate deal, it's almost easier because you don't have any bad habits. Or if you've been investing, no matter what your experience level is, I haven't had a single student, no matter what their experience level is, say they haven't learned something that helps better their business. If you're looking for freedom, if you're looking to free up your time and you want to have more cash flow, or you want to have cash flow, period, this is the training to go to. This is all about getting massive amounts of cash flow in a safe way. And that's the key: education and implementation. And the class will change your life. It'll be a great start to the Epic system for you. So I look forward to those of you who attend.
Absolutely. And I would totally encourage you to take Eric up on his invitation. He does this out of the kindness of his heart. And it's obviously to show you there is a catch. I'm not going to try and hide that from you. The catch is that you'll get so much good value and information from this free 3 days with Eric, is that you'll want to do business with us. But if you decide not to do business with us, it's not like we take all that information back away from you. Once we've given it to you, it's yours for free, and you can use it how you wish. One thing you touched on, Eric, and this is what I appreciate about you, because this is something a little bit more. It's always been in my mind, and I've always recognized real estate is a great way to hedge inflation, but it's becoming more and more of a serious issue. And you've brought it up a few times. We've already, our stimulus package that was released to us in April has printed more money than we did all in 2007, 2008 combined. And then Jerome Powell is on record in August as saying he's going to push inflation above the 2% normal target. So he's already told you what he's going to do. And then I just read an article from Ray Dalio in Market Watch, and he said that in the next 5 years, this world is going to change in shocking ways. And that was like the subheadline, but he's alluding to the value of the dollar. Yes. And he said that one of his final comments in that article was to watch the value of your dollar in the same way you are watching the value of your investments.
Yes. And I could spend 2 weeks talking about this. I've done quite a bit of research on it, but to really kind of focus it, here's the bottom line. It's income producing assets. You see pushes for gold and for silver. That's great if you don't know how to invest, but even better than that is having the right property, which you may get some appreciation on, but you have that monthly revenue being generated. And so you have a business, if it's set up correctly, where there's little or no management. And that's what's so huge about what Mercedes does with the buy and hold cash flow properties. You have an income producing asset, and it's a business that really you don't have to manage. And this plan adjusts for inflation because rents go with inflation. So when you're in the right markets, you're investing at the right price points, like you said, 5 to 10% below the median priced homes, usually for buy and hold stuff. I mean, I don't know of a safer way to become financially free.
Well, super. So if you want to spend 3 free days with Eric, him sharing his wisdom and his knowledge, you can tell, smart dude. And also he's got a big heart, and he spends a lot of time before and after those calls to help people individually and give them some free coaching. And all of that is a free service. And then if you want some more help after that's all done, Eric will show you how to get it. All right. So that's trainwithepic.com. Go to trainwithepic.com and register, and you get to meet Eric and see what a handsome guy he is right there in your monitor. All righty. So Eric, thank you very much. Let's stay in touch. Let's do this again. Obviously we will, but great to have you a part of the team, and thank you for helping all the people that you've been helping. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Matt. It's a pleasure being on the podcast, and I look forward to seeing those of you who attend the class and helping you out. So it's going to be a blast. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Take care. What did you find most compelling? What did you learn? Let me know in the comments below. And who do you know that may also find this valuable? When their name comes to mind, please share it with them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.